No matter what he had done, they would be here criticizing him. It's just damned if you do and damned if you don't.
The defense, Roy Black there, and the prosecution giving their closing arguments in the DUI manslaughter trial of John Goodman. Now the case in the hands of the jury. Good evening. I'm Michael Williams.
I'm Kelly Dunn. Thank you for staying with us. All the evidence is in, all the testimony has been presented. But before jurors could begin deliberating, they listened to the arguments of the attorneys in the trial of John Goodman.
News Channel 5's Jay Kashmir live from outside the Palm Beach County Courthouse with today's developments. Jay?
Kelly, Michael, jurors have gone home for the evening. They'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock deliberating this case as we enter the final home stretch after 3 weeks in the DUI manslaughter trial of John Goodman. Today was a pivotal day, though, a last pitch for lawyers on both sides to really leave an impression with the jurors before they enter their deliberation phase here. Really a time when they just really throw out a final plea. Both lawyers for both sides really casting their last option here, throwing out their last pitch. And one of the points they really highlighted is what John Goodman did in the moments after his Bentley slammed into the car driven by Scott Wilson, sending his car into a canal and killing him. Goodman walked away from the crash. Here's a sample of what the prosecution and the defense attorneys said today in their closing arguments.
Did he call 911 right away? No. He didn't do any of the things that are required by law. And ladies and gentlemen, there is no excuse for that. It sure wasn't what he intended that night. The state's not saying that he intended to do it, but there is no excuse.
This man wasn't out there hiding anywhere. He wasn't trying to escape. He wasn't doing anything than exactly what he said, trying to find a phone and trying to find help.
All right, let's bring in News Channel 5 legal analyst Michelle Suskauer. Michelle, you're a local criminal defense attorney. We ended with a soundbite there from Roy Black. How did he do today? I mean, as a local criminal defense attorney, what's the driving force that you want to get to those jurors, the last pitch that you're making here for closing arguments?
And this is so crucial, Jay. This is the time when you can talk to these jurors for the very last time before they decide the fate of your client. And I thought Roy Black did the best job he could with the facts that he had. He was pointing out reasonable doubt, pointing out problems with the state's case, really bringing out the state's own opening statement that you shouldn't rely on guesses or conjecture, suppositions, that you really have to rely on just the facts. And he was pointing out about facts that the state did not have, talking about how much alcohol John Goodman was seen drinking versus what the state's toxicologist is alleging that he had to drink. And I thought that was really powerful, this big chart of all of these drinks that John Goodman had to drink in order to get to a particular level 3 hours afterwards. So all of these little pieces, all of these little points that the state may have a problem with in this case. Of course, the state's doing the opposite. They're talking about using the common sense and their strong points.
We shall see tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Deliberations continue. Michelle, thank you very much. We'll toss it back to the studio, Michael and Kelly.